the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't here for my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin? All right, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake up call. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A_Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, I see you, April. Okay, Claudette, Yvonne, Original First Mother. All right, Nita's and Mike's World, Anita Harrell, The Lovely T, Cherokee Descendant Dale. All right, Red Wine Entertainment, 504 Nola's in the house. About Damn Time, Nessie X. All right, Vince I Am from the UK. Most Hated Bronze Flat Power God, that Crazy Beach Aries, Deronda, Claudette. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. I see you, Nessie X. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay, so let's get this party started. I see you, we the people. God bless 23. All right, with that all being said, let's get into it. Hey, G from the land. Everyone get those likes up. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing. You can do it absolutely for free. All right, it's the least you can do. All right, so let's get into it. I hate that I got started late this morning, but I had something else to do, and I hate getting started late. Okay, so let's talk about it, beloveds. First of all, let's get into Diddy. Now, um, maybe a couple of weeks ago or so, I told you all about a young woman who claimed that she was at one of those freak offs with Diddy. She was taken there by a prince and that she really had to flee. Do you all remember that? Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Do you all remember that? I'm about to refresh in your memories. I'm about to refresh in your memory because this young lady has now come out and said some more stuff saying there were some little people there. And the prince that we didn't know who was, well, she slipped up and said his name in the interview. So I know who the prince is. Now, I already had my suspicions, but she pretty much said his name. So I'm going to go back to the first clip that I played for you guys. Okay, and then we'll get into what she has recently said. All right, April says yes, Queen. All right, Yvonne says yes. All right, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. This young woman's name is Tania, for those who weren't here.
But I got myself into a situation where I was about to get sex trafficked, and this was like 3 years ago, and I was just like, it was a close one. You know, I came up on this prince, and he was Arabian, and he flew me to Miami, and he said I was going to be there for 2 weeks. We were in a $30 million house, and I ended up being there for a month, and I had to escape. Okay. And we were meeting so many girls, and girls from Love and Hip Hop was coming in the house, and celebrities was there and all of this stuff. But it started to get real weird. You know, it was a lot of drugs. And like, I don't do hard drugs like that. Like, I was smoking weed, you know, and they were doing hard drugs and stuff. And it was just like, it was getting like my gut was telling me something bad is about to happen. But he was trying to like distract us with buying this stuff. We was going shopping and doing all these things. And for some reason, I felt like I'm used to getting shit. But like this right here, where am I about to be tomorrow? And why are we still here? So then he says, well, we're going to go to Cuba. So the girls start talking in the house, and they're like, girl, I got to get back home. And he said that I can't leave. And I'm like, well, what is he going to do with us? Then, you know, we went to some celebrity's house, and we ended up at P. Diddy's house. And I just started hearing conversations, and I just...
Oh, I'm sorry. She did say P. Diddy. Now, see, I hadn't listened that far. Just listening to what she said, prefacing it, I said, oh, wait a minute, this sounds like Diddy. But she actually said Diddy, so let's continue.
Sex trafficking from it. Because, you know, I heard the prince saying something like, oh, you can have whoever you want. Like, he was like selling us, you know? So I'm like, is this sex trafficking? Like, and it gave me a whole nother outlook on everything too. And I had to like...
Okay. Now, I just played a little bit of that for those of you who may have missed it, and also just to refresh your memories, okay? Because now we're going to go back to what she has recently said. She repeated some of the same things, so I don't need to play that entire thing. But I want you all to pay attention because in that clip, she never said who the prince was. And like I told you guys, when I heard her talking, as I was listening to the first time, I didn't even realize that she said it was Diddy's house, that she literally said his name. I just heard the description of what she was saying, and it sounded like Diddy mess. And also, this prince that she's talking about, Prince Azim, and let me just say alleged. This is all alleged. I can't substantiate whether or not Prince Azim was even involved in this, but that is what she said. But I don't know it to be true. I wasn't there. So this is all alleged. Let me just reiterate. But that being said, when she was talking about this prince, an Arabian prince, I had a feeling that she was talking about Prince Azim because I know all about him. Prince Azim was big time with all these celebrities, okay, hanging out with all these celebrities. That's what he wanted to do. And he's now deceased. Okay, he died of some rare illness in October of 2020. Notice she said about 3 years ago. So 2020, that's actually 4 years ago, but I don't know when she did that first interview. But so also, the reason I was thinking it was Prince Azim is because Prince Azim was allegedly LGBTQ. And how do I know that? Well, because Perez Hilton exposed him on a live, okay, in 2019. He exposed him on a live because, first of all, let me just say this. Prince Azim is the son of the Sultan of Brunei. Okay. And over there, it's supposed to be illegal, or they were talking about making it a death penalty for LGBTQ or something like that. Perez Hilton got upset because he felt like that since this is your father that's trying to do this, you need to tell your father that you're LGBTQ. And so apparently, he just decided to take it upon himself and go on and expose him. Okay. So with that all been said, but let's go to what she said recently. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. And again, this is a clip, but I'm going to put an overlay on the screen. I'm going to put an overlay on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Now let's get into it. Okay, just a second. Let me just cue this and get to the timestamp. Waiting for the ads to stop, beloveds.
Two and two together that this prince knew P. Diddy as
When you
the
say
producer.
a prince of what?
He was a Arabian prince.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And he really was a prince for real. But I wasn't worried about him being a prince. I was worried about who he actually knew. So when he invited me to, he met me, he said, I want to invite you tomorrow to Music Ultra Week, whatever. And it's like an event, Ultra Music Week. It's like an event for like 2 weeks where people party, including P. Diddy. And they party at Club Live. They party at like just in South Beach, Star Island, like where P. Diddy stays or throw his freak offs at. And I never knew that we were going to go there because I was there for 2 weeks and I knew it was something fishy. He kept saying, I got a surprise for you. I'm like, but I'm only supposed to stay for 2 weeks and I'm here longer than 2 weeks. And it was almost a month. It was basically a month by then. And he was like, no, because I just want you to meet one special person. So he ended up telling me, like, when we went to Club Live, he was like, guess where we're going tonight? I'm like, where? He's like, to P. Diddy's house. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, that's crazy because I hear a lot about P. Diddy and I'm like, his house for what? Like to go sing? He's like, no, he's throwing this wild party. I'm like, oh, okay. So we went from Club Live. It ended at the clubs end at like 3 or 4 and not 2, like how out here is. So we waited around the Prince's mansion for about an hour. And then as soon as 6:30 hit, we went. We all got in the car, like a big Uber. And me and all the other girls. Now, mind you, I'm the only Black girl. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to meet P. Diddy. Oh, like I'm probably gonna have to sing for him. Da, da, da. And I just tried to like keep my composure. So we get there, and that's when stuff got weird. And that's why they lock up our phones, because they know what we see in there, it's he can get in trouble like right now.
Let me pause it right there because I want to put to your attention those of you who saw the movie Blink Twice. Just keep listening, because the first thing is she said that they had to lock up their phones. Now, remember on Blink Twice, they took their phones. Not to give any spoiler alerts for those who didn't see it, but they took their phones, and now she's saying that they took their phones. Also, if you remember in the last clip, the previous clip, she said that they were supposed to take them to Cuba. Now, she's going to talk about that again, but think about how in Blink Twice, they took them to that secluded island on that private jet. And on here, she's talking about them taking them out of the country to Cuba. Okay, so just please pay attention. But let's continue.
So basically, we arrived, security guard patted us down. They put our phone in this little bubble case. So the bubble case is closed. They can't get unlocked until we walk out. So as we're in there, the only way of us taking any type of pictures is if we get in the photo booth. He has like a Team Love photo booth or whatever. Take like 4 pictures. So I, got pictures. I still got everything in my Snap too, like of the photos, everything. That's all you could get. So I'm walking around or whatever. So one of his sons, I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was like recruiting like whoever they wanted to go inside the house, because the freak off is inside the house and in the backyard. So you have the pool, and they're playing loud house music.
Now, again, listen to what she's describing. She says there's a pool and they're playing loud house music. Okay, remember how on Blink Twice, some of them were in the pool and they were playing the music outside and all that stuff. But also pay attention to the fact that she said one of his sons, she says she won't say which one, but she said one of the sons was recruiting people to go inside the house. Remember in the lawsuit filed by Little Rod, aka Rodney Jones, where he said that, I believe he said it was Justin who was recruiting the underage girls. Okay. So let's just keep going.
Like, Mark, the house music, it makes you feel kind of woozy, first of all, because it's like a rave or something. Dun, 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 and it's real loud. So you can't really see nothing, but you're seeing everybody like walking around drunk, hopping around. It's still 7 a.m.
Okay. Now, another thing. Remember, she says the music started playing and everybody's hopping around. You remember that Allie Carter said that when they started the music at these parties, when the DJ started the music, these flashing lights came on and everyone seemed like they were in some sort of trance. Okay, do you all remember that? Said everyone just went into some sort of frenzy when the music started. So this is also sounding like what Allie Carter said.
So the sun is like coming up, and people are walking around naked, period. Let's get into it. They're walking around naked already, and they're in the pool skinny dipping, and they're drinking mimosas in the pool, but then it's like a waitress walking around giving people drinks, just passing.
Okay, this too, I'm sorry to keep cutting this off, but listen, I got to point these things out. They were in the pool sipping mimosas. There's a waitress walking around handing out drinks. Wasn't there someone walking around handing out drinks on Blink Twice? Wasn't there the black girl in the pool sipping on that martini with a raspberry in it and she almost choked? I'm just saying that's not a mimosa, but still sipping drinks in the pool. Okay, but let's continue.
Some people drinks, and people are just taking them. Me, I don't drink like that, but I'm like an occasional drinker. Like I'll drink if we're partying or whatever, just for that occasion. So, because people are going to keep saying drink, drink, drink. But I didn't take a drink yet. But I just had it in my hand. So one of the sons seen me walking, mind you, I'm with other girls, but we split up. So I was walking with one girl. She's a Puerto Rican girl. So P. Diddy's son was like, you. And I'm like, me or her? And then he was like, no, you. Come here. So I went to him and he gave me some shoes. So these shoes was like some terry cloth, like robe shoes, white shoes. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? He was like, go in the house with these. He was like, everybody who gets these shoes, you get to go in the house. But I'm thinking you could just go in the house if you want to, but everybody can't go in the house. They're literally selectively picking who they want. So I'm like, well, what about my friend? He was like, no, only you. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm holding the shoes. I'm walking around. You know, I'm a good loyal friend. I'm not going to go inside a house where they say my friend can't go. So we just walking around mingling. But we tripping out, looking at everybody like they off everything smoking and jumping around like hooligans. And so I seen P. Diddy or whatever, and I seen him with the Prince. I'm not going to say what he was doing, but something really, I get real nervous. Something real crazy because I don't like to really expose people. I could talk about me, but when it's about like me, my family, because it's us. But when it's other people, bro, doing something real sexual, that's all I'm going to say. So that we could see and so that we can get turned on, okay? So he's doing something with himself. And I'm like, girl, do you see him? She's like, yes. But mind you, we're screaming like, girl, do you see him? Oh my God. Because of the music. And I'm just like, whatever. Then he starts to act like really obnoxious, like, I'm the king of the world, jumping around, doing all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's regular P. Diddy shit. But what got me was how he walked up to me and was like, why are you not in the house? And I'm like, what do you mean? He like, how are you enjoying my house? So we had a little talk or whatever. He started talking about all these things. Oh yeah, you're the one that, you know, I seen was telling me about the Prince. He's like, oh yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Like your life is not going to be the same. Da 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 da. We started talking about going to Cuba. Are you going to Cuba with us? I'm like, what? And that's the thing. I didn't really know about this. So this is when I start asking around or whatever. I said that in the last interview. But to get to the point, I ended up going in the house because he was on me like, go in that house. I'm like, okay. And then the person that he was dating at that time, we're not going to say her name, but we all know, she came and was like looking at him like, what are you doing? Because he was talking to me for too long. So she came to like rub on his shoulders or whatever. And he just pushed her. And I'm looking like real uncomfortable, like, oh, I know what this is about. I don't want to be in the middle of there, whatever. So that's what made me go into the house because I'm like, okay, let me just go in the house. So I told my friend, like, wait right here, girl. Let me just put on these shoes, see what this house is about.
If you've been getting scam texts like these, it was me. I said that probably means your date has been leaked. And I
walk up in there. I don't judge people because at the time I was just smoking weed. But you know when people are out of their mind and you know when people, you know what you don't want to be a part of. And it's just like I'm seeing stuff that you see on the movies. This corner, this got going on. This corner, they over here doing this. This corner, they over there having sex. This corner, I'm just going to say, because I don't know what I can say because I'm not trying to be incriminating myself, but they were dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies.
Like what?
Little people, okay? We're not going to say what type of little people, but like a fetish.
Now, please pay attention. She said they were dressed up like Harajuku Barbie. They were little people. I'm not going to say what kind of little people. So she's clearly talking about people that are underage. Okay, because she said she doesn't want to incriminate herself. So please pay attention to that. And I do believe that's the same reason why Rodney Jones in his lawsuit said that he was going to plead the fifth on some things he didn't want to say. Okay, that may have been the same thing. I'm not certain. But at the end of the day, she said fetish. It's like a fetish. Now, think to Allie Carter, the clip from Allie Carter that I played for you guys, at least one of them. Allie Carter said that there were kids there and that they were on the table as party favors. And then she also talked about different fetishes that the people there had. This is all discussed, and Diddy is exactly where he needs to be. All of these people cannot just be lying and saying similar things about similar situations. But let's continue.
And I'm looking like, what are they doing here? Like dressed up, little red lipstick, like they weren't supposed to be there. But I'm just looking like maybe it's some type of production going on. But why would they be at this party at 7:00 in the morning with grown people? Like why would they be here? So I was just like, okay, whatever. Like but then when I'm looking in this corner, this person laid out and I'm looking like, what's going on? Then I'm seeing like Instagram models or whatever. I'm like, oh, hey. So I'm kind of getting distracted, feeling like kind of comfortable. Like she's here. Oh my gosh, she's here. And then I see P. Diddy, you know, walking through the house, like with his eyes on me. Like, you know, like is this, you see, like, are you agreeing with this? And I don't. Now, mind you, I still got my friend out there. So I walked out of the house and I'm telling her, like, oh my God, bitch. Like, oh my God, she like for real? But I'm just like, I'm not even tripping. Like, oh, well, like, this nigga's weird. Like, so I'm really looking at the situation like, I don't even want to be involved in this type of stuff because once I see something, I can't get it out of my mind. And I'm like a hypochondriac. Like, I keep on having flashbacks about it. So whatever. So, of course, I come out. And then here he goes again. And another rapper, well-known rapper, comes and starts feeling on me like, hey, you. So now it just seems like everybody is faded at this point. They're either drunk or on all the drugs, obviously, with this house music. So now I just feel like trapped in. Like, I don't like it. And I know the devil when I see it. Because by me being so spiritual and tapped in, I know when something is not right. I'm not judging, but I just don't want to be a part of it because how am I going to get out of this shit? Like,
Okay, so pay attention. She said everyone's walking around drunk and off of the drugs and all of that. Okay, and the music's playing. This sounds very reminiscent of Blink Twice.
I'm already here. And then I heard conversations or whatever. And then P. Diddy was like, that's the one that I want. I want her. So now I feel like, they plotting on me. Like, did you bring me here on purpose? Like, is this the, producer you was talking about? And I came here specifically with the Prince to rub elbows with people, to network for the music week. But then I put two and two together like, the Prince have been saying your life is never going to be the same. You're going to be happy. Somebody's expecting you. And I just feel like that was the time that I was going to get sex trafficked or, drugged or something like that. And then they kept trying to make me like, I've been around celebrities before. If a rapper wants you or somebody wants you, they're not going to do it. They're going to send somebody else to do it. So if a waitress is coming or another girl or a pretty girl or a guy, they'll sick somebody on you. Like, take this drink, do this, do that. And then you just feel eyes on you, like watching to see if you're going to do it, when you're going to do it. So I already know what time it was. And it's crazy because I had to leave that place. In my last interview, I told you I had to escape. I had to leave from the Prince because he was telling me we was leaving for Cuba the next day. Cuba with who? With P. Diddy or what? Like, this is all crazy. So to see all of this stuff come out, and I escaped by leaving. I had to call the police and everything. I had to leave with the Prince. That's another story. From the Prince, from that house. I didn't leave with the other girls. I had to get my phone unlocked, of course. But like, I had to catch a taxi, not even an Uber, a taxi to another location, and then I ended up going to the airport and I ended up leaving because I just felt bamboozled. First, I'm getting lied to about how long I'm supposed to stay there. Then you keep talking about I'm supposed to meet this producer, but we're not talking about nothing with music, but you're talking about going to Cuba. We didn't even do what we were supposed to do in Miami, or did we do what we were supposed to do in Miami at this freak off? But because I'm not cooperating with what I see, and I feel like that's what the Illuminati and stuff is about, like a secret society. Like, they want to see what you allow, what you cool with, and then next thing you know, boom, take that drink, you're drugged. Take that, you're out of it. Take that pill, because everybody was off something. But you had to be being in that environment like that.
How many people were at this event?
Like hundreds. Even when it was a certain amount outside, but in the house was really crowded. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that, like, it was more people in the house.
And you walked around?
Yeah, I walked around for about 5 minutes. I seen what I need to see. And I was like, no, ma'am. No, sir. Because
you weren't put on this planet to work for money. Money is supposed to work.
It was like selling your soul at that house. And if you like that, it's nothing to you. But if you're not like that, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And then it's like, at first I used to think P. Diddy was like, so he always talk about team love and all of this stuff. Like, he's all about, no, he all about sex, himself. And I know sex because I've dealt with men, Murk. So I know when somebody is trying to lead you on to stuff and sitting back acting like he just this macho man. And he is a charmer, though. That's one thing. Like, he will charm the fuck out of you. But for me, that's so game tight. I'm like, I know what this is. And I'm ready to get to the music. Like, if that's the case, you should have been like, don't tell me you about to change my life and da-da-da. And, oh, have you been writing? Oh, that's nothing too. He was like, have you been writing the songs that Azim been telling you to write? Because the Prince wanted me to write out all the songs I ever made in my life. I said,
Did you all just hear when she effed up and said his name accidentally? Did you guys hear that? She slipped up and said the prince's name. Once in the chat if you heard it. She said, Diddy asked her, have you been writing the songs that Azim wanted you to write? She literally said his name. That's how I knew for a fact that I was right all along, because that's exactly who I thought it was. Okay, we next, aka DSB, says, anyone who has to drug a woman is not a real man. Absolutely, beloved. I absolutely agree. And thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. So you all heard her. She said Prince Azim. Okay, she said he asked her, have you been writing the songs that Azim told you to write? So yeah, that's who it was that she's talking about. Now, I can't substantiate her claims, but that's what she said. Let's continue.
without the beat, he's like, yeah, just start writing songs. So you never know. They'll take my music, drug me, fuck me, do whatever, and just throw me away, basically. Or after you have something on me, when we do the music, you have that on me that this happened, and now I'm blackmailed or some shit like that. So touching all on me at that party, even the rapper who touched all on me, like, that rapper was cool. Like, I was liking that rapper. But when they were like, hey, you, and doing all that, what can I do? All I could do is just say, like, move his hand, like, oh, I'm fine, but, you know, trying to, like, still be cool. But I'm like, why do everybody feel comfortable to just touch on you? Even P. Diddy, like, why I look up and you're right there? And then, like, in my face, like, are you, like, in my house? Like, it's weird. Like, looking at him is like when you're a kid and you're getting in trouble by your parent and you can't look them in their face. And it's like a demon. I'm telling you, like, this dark spirit, like, he possessing you as he's looking at you, that power, that control. So I'm like, I read The Art of Seduction, motherfucker. I know what you're doing. And you're trying to really seduce me right now. And, oh, take a drink. Oh, no, do this, do that. Go in there. Like, it's just not nothing. And I want to know, why me go in the house and why not the girl? So now you're picking and choosing. So it's fishy to me. So when all this stuff started coming out, I was like, I knew I was right. I knew it. Like, it ain't no doubt about that. P. Diddy was doing all that. And like I say, I don't judge, because I've been around people doing cocaine, but these hard drugs that they was doing, and just, I ain't gonna lie, it was orgies and stuff going on. So all of this stuff going on, I'm like, why is people doing stuff all in the open? Like, that's just offending me and assaulting me, period, because where am I at? I didn't sign up for.
Now pay attention. She said they were having orgies. I'm sorry, but that's the same thing that Allie Carter was saying. And they were doing stuff out in the open. Same thing. This is all disgusting. But let's continue.
This. And how can I really get out? So I have to, like, ease my way on out. You know, it's security, but they not caring about what happens as long as that phone is closed. They damn near don't care if somebody died up in there. Ain't nobody can film it.
And there were famous people, or not?
It was a whole bunch of famous people.
Yeah.
Like 4 famous people, and then some Instagram models. Mm-hmm. And the whole time he just was like trying to undress me with his eyes. And I was thinking, like, this is really no cap. Because at that time, you know, I always been skinny. So at that time, the son who came up to me, I was like, boy, is it because I resemble your mom? Like, you know, like Kim Porter, like stuff like that. Like, you just never know. Like, I feel like, you know, P. Diddy does have a type. I feel like everybody that was in that house, it was a certain type of person. It was a certain type of something that he wanted and what he liked. And you could just tell, like, he get whatever he wants. That's why he has no problem touching on you, being all in your face, popping up on you, being obnoxious, and just hounding you until you do what he say. And that's just how the industry is already, especially him, because he got a lot of money, you know?
Because you're a singer as well, right?
Yeah, so they probably like, do you want this opportunity or what? And I'm like, not that damn bad, but I do want it. I do. But if I already got a bad vibe and I'm seeing stuff that you're into, I already know how this is going to be. So I don't want to, like, you know, ignore some red flags and then I'll be in trouble because of you. Like, literally in trouble. Like, we know his past. Like, Shine, the rapper, being in jail because of him. Like, don't think just because I'm from where I'm from, you could just do anything. And that's why I never really said nothing about it, because I just felt like, who am I? He got money. Like, ain't nobody gonna believe me. But I have all the receipts. I have it all in my Snap to this day. It never went nowhere. That was just my experience just being in Miami for the first time. I didn't know that I was going to end up at P. Diddy's house.
Did you take photos outside the house?
When I got my phone back, yeah.
Videos or something?
I took videos when I was going to the house before I knew this was some weird shit. And then when I got my phone, I ended up, recording. And then I had the shoes on.
Oh, you had the shoes?
I left with the shoes on because I don't know where I put my shoes at when I put those on. And it was a lot going on.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. She said it was a lot going on and it was real loud and all of that. It all sounds nefarious, honey. I just wouldn't have wanted to deal with such. Okay, and so that all being said, now let's get into it. So I'm gonna show, for those of you who don't know who Prince Azim was, because he's now deceased, died, like I said, October 2020, at the age of 38. Okay, this is okay. Now, as I said, that is the same Prince that Perez Hilton outed in 2019. Okay, so I'm going to go to the video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And I'm going to skip past something because Perez uses a word that I don't like when he's describing him.
Sultan of Brunei doesn't know that his son, Prince Azim. I outed the son of the Sultan of Brunei. I don't out people on my website anymore. I used to regularly and shamefully back in the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you two things. The first is an embarrassment to all gay kind, this person right here, and Prince Azim of Brunei. He was the son of the current Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah, and his former second wife, Mariam binti Abdul Aziz. More on him later. I figured we need a bit of a palate cleanser from the whole Omid Scobie endgame, so this is something that's actually close to my heart and I've been wanting to do for some time. And because this is a very delicate matter, due to the fact that Prince Aziz is no longer living, I will take this video with only the utmost respect of me giving you all information. The prince, who is pictured here with his youngest brother, Prince Mateen, he was the second-born prince of his father, and at the time of his death, he was fourth in line to the throne of Brunei. In 2008, Prince Azim went to Sandhurst for a 9-month-long officer training. However, he dropped out after 1 week. In 2009, he designed unisex weekend bags for MCM, and the proceeds went to the Make-A-Wish Charitable Foundation, in which he was patron to. He was an advocate for the arts and creative industries, and he donated to several causes around youth and people with disabilities. The prince turned producer produced the likes of the films You're Not You, starring Hilary Swank, and The Happy Prince, starring Rupert Everett. Known as the Party Prince, he was widely renowned for throwing his lavish parties and rubbing the elbows with Michael Jackson, Dame Jane Collins, Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, hell, Pamela Anderson. In the beginning, you heard Perez Hilton out him. That was in response to a 2019 law introduced from the state of Brunei by his father, the Sultan, where how do I say this without me being... Gay relations and adultery are punishable by stoning. The Sultan also called for stronger Islamic teachings, and at the time, homosexuality was already banned in Brunei and punishable for up to 10 years in prison. So Perez thought this is just pissing me off as I'm telling this story. This little ingrate thought it was a good idea to out someone as an example of saying, hey, your son is gay. Why are you doing this? My thoughts on this man go beyond the scope of what I can say here on TikTok. It is never anyone's business to tell the business of someone else.
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. Now, here's the thing. I happen to think, and this is just my opinion, because Perez outed him in the early part of 2020, not 2019. That law that they passed over there in Brunei was in 2019, but Perez outed him early on. That article the guy was showing was from March of 2020, and then October of 2020, he's conveniently dead. And many people say they don't believe the explanation for that his family gave as to why he died. Now, I just have to stop and wonder, knowing how they are over there about certain things and how they have these strict rules, and how in some of those countries they actually have what they call honor killings. When you embarrass your family or you're engaged in something that would shame the family, they just kill you. So I'm just wondering if that's what happened because of the timing. Because first Perez outs him. Now, mind you, his father absolutely has to hate that, despise it, deplore it, because he's made laws against it. It's illegal to be that way. So do you think that a man who feels so strongly and adamantly against it wants his son, someone who's fourth in line to inherit the throne, to be that way? And so I think they took him out. That's just my assessment. At the end of the day, I can't verify that, but that's just what I think. And Perez was dead wrong for outing that man at the end of the day. Of course, if Prince Azim was doing the things that Tania alleges, he was nefarious anyway. Okay. And so, with that all being said, I just want you all to pay attention because that's real crazy. Okay. So, we've had several people now coming out saying that there were minors at these parties. Okay. That Diddy was having. And everything that she said, much of what she said sounded very much so, as I told you guys, like Blink Twice. Now, here's the thing. I got a kick out of this. Let's go back to when we first found out that Diddy was being accused by Cassie. Okay. I just happened to be looking at this video last night. Hold on. This is like when the first reports came out. Hold on. Likes up, because some of the things I said, and the reason I was thinking about this is because remember how I told you guys the other day that Diddy really prophesied these things that happened to him. I'm not going to say he prophesied it. I'm going to say he manifested these things. Words have power. Remember the song where he was talking about tell the DA, the feds to come and get me. And then he also said in that interview that they were going to be locking him up for his parties. They're going to be throwing him in jail, shutting down the parties. These things are happening. Remember the video with him and Mace fleeing the feds, and they're going to get on this private plane or whatever, and the feds are chasing them in cars? This all is his real life. I mean, they didn't chase him, but they came after him. Okay, his homes were raided. Think about the other song where they say Bo knows Diddy did it, shootouts and something else, and naming all these nefarious things, and that sounds like Diddy. Wasn't there a shootout at the club? I'm just saying. Didn't they say that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car? Like all of these things. And so I was thinking about how Diddy manifested these things. And so I manifested some of the things I said in that first broadcast where I was talking about Cassie exposing Diddy. So let's get into it and have a trip down memory lane. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. You should, because given Diddy's track record and the things we've heard about him, yeah, she has to be brave to come out and say these things. Not to mention you can get blackballed. He's got that kind of power. He's in good with people like Clive Davis, okay, and some of these other big time people, right, who run the industry. So quite frankly, it was very brave of her to come out and speak on this, as far as I'm concerned. Now, it goes on to say that the suit claims that Combs, who is nearly 20 years older than Ventura, asserted complete control over Ventura and that he was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently beat Ventura savagely. People who worked for Combs' businesses saw the abuse, according to the suit, and were afraid to come to her aid. It says that he would love bomb her after violent incidents and attempt to hide her from the public. You know, love bombing is when they try to be all nice after they've whipped up on you and done all kinds of nefarious things. Then they want to shower you with gifts and send flowers and all that and pretend they're so sorry. But then they go right back to being abusive as soon as you do or say something else that they don't like. Please pay attention. Now, when she would attempt to distance herself from him, he would send people to find her and convince her to return to him. Many went as far as to explicitly state that her failure to return to Mr. Combs would hinder her success in the entertainment industry. Yeah, holding it over her head. When she believed that she had finally separated from her longtime abuser, she joined Mr. Combs for a dinner, after which he forced her into her home and raped her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Low down and dirty. The suit also details other instances of alleged abuse, including a time he forcibly kissed her in a bathroom at an after party for her 21st birthday. She immediately ran out of the bathroom and the hotel suite crying. And it says that she told her best friend at the time about what had happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. Another time, he allegedly gave her ecstasy without telling her what it was. She also alleges that he used a fake flyer for an event in Miami in 2007 as a ruse to get her away from her boyfriend at the time. She agreed to go with him even though she knew it was fake. Now, the suit says that because she didn't want to go against Combs' wishes, that's the only reason she went. They say while there, she says he gave her more drugs and then had sex with her. Now, in the years that followed, she says he secured her apartments in New York and LA and bought her a Jaguar. A car, not the animal. He also allegedly asked her for medical records to be sent to his asked for her medical records to be sent to his email address. Why does he need all of that? Over the next decade, multiple times each year, Mr. Combs would violently beat Miss Ventura, leaving bruises on her body, according to the suit. After every instance in which he beat Miss Ventura, Mr. Combs used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of his abuse by hiding Miss Ventura in hotels for days at a time, just waiting for her bruises to heal. This is absolutely egregious and sad. She claims in the suit that he started forcing her to sleep with male prostitutes when she was 20 years old, allegedly telling her that he was interested in voyeurism and wanted to see her with another D, and instructed her to look online for men with large black fill in the blanks, because y'all know what I'm talking about. This is all so sick. Wow, what kind of pervert? He reportedly called these encounters freak-offs or OFs. And at some point, the suit claims he asked for them weekly. Lord have mercy, I need a drink. I need a drink, guys. Hold on. This is too much. This is all sick and disgusting, okay? This is all too much. Oh, right. Fear of ramifications. Absolutely. Laverne said, no telling how much else he's gotten away with. Exactly. Okay. This man could be a whole nother R. Kelly. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he made R. Kelly look like a choir boy. Please pay attention. This is all crazy. Danielle said, what are you drinking, Queen? Vodka, honey. Pay attention. I need a shot. I'm just joking. This is water. all crazy. Danielle said, this is just plain sick. It absolutely is. I don't even know if I can read the rest, but let me try. This is so crazy. And then he started wanting these things to occur weekly. So during the FOs, or the freak-offs, in addition to directing Miss Ventura and choking his chicken, Mr. Combs would use his phone, laptop, and tablet to film Miss Ventura having, relations with these hired workers, according to the suit. Now, he treated the forced encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. Mr. Combs repeatedly made it clear that he retained many videos of Miss Ventura during these freak-offs. The suit claims that she found these encounters repulsive and would sometimes vomit beforehand. Honey, I would vomit before, after, and even during. This is all disgusting. Now, on one occasion after the freak-offs, the suit claims that Combs was intoxicated and went to her hotel room where he allegedly dangled one of her friends off the 17th floor balcony. Now, y'all tell me this man didn't think he was the mafia? Miss Ventura and her friends were scared by Mr. Combs' erratic behavior, but Miss Ventura was heavily sedated because of the drugs that she took to participate in the freak-offs, and therefore was unable to respond to Mr. Combs' terrifying behavior, according to the suit. The lawsuit also describes several incidents where Combs' alleged physical abuse of her left her with bruises and black eyes. She claims he once paid $50,000 for security footage in a hotel hallway that might have incriminated him. Isn't that something? So he has the power and wherewithal to make these things go away and disappear. Okay? This is what was going on. Miss Hotel said Jaguar Wright told us. Yes, she absolutely did. She absolutely did. Aeon said he thinks he's Big Red. Okay? This is all crazy. Wow. Let me continue. So it goes on to say that Combs allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car in 2012 because Ventura was dating him. A spokesman for Kid Cudi told the New York Times, this is all true. So there's confirmation on one allegation. She attempted to end their relationship at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, California in September of 2018. The suit claims that he followed her to her home, which he paid for, and forced his way in. Now, Mr. Combs forced himself into the apartment and tried to kiss Miss Ventura, according to the claims. She told him to stop, and she attempted to push him away. Mr. Combs then forcibly pulled off Miss Ventura's clothing and unbuckled his belt. He proceeded to grape Miss Ventura while she repeatedly said no and attempted to push him away. This is also sad and scandalous. The alleged abuse has left her with trauma, which she's treated with medical and psychological care. She married a personal trainer, Alex Fine, in 2019, and now has 2 children with him. Ventura filed her lawsuit under New York's Adult Survivors Act, a 1-year window in which victims of sexual abuse can file lawsuits irrespective of the statute of limitations. The window closes next week. Wow. So she filed it right in time, okay? Because it's going to be gone next week. Now, Combs signed Cassie to a 10-album deal, according to the suit. She released only one full-length album titled Cassie, which came out in 2006 and made it up to number 4 on the Billboard albums chart. Her most recent single, Lose a Lover and Don't Play It Safe, came out in 2017. Last year, she made a guest appearance on Universal Love, a song that also featured Chris Brown, The Game, and Chloe. Combs founded Bad Boys in 1993 and became famous initially for his production work on records by the Notorious B.I.G. and Mary J. Blige. He could be worth as much as $1 billion, according to the Times. This is all crazy. I'm sure there was a clause in the contract where she couldn't speak ill of him. Well, she spoke. And here's the thing, beloved. Someone can have you sign a non-disclosure agreement, but if they're committing crimes against you, you absolutely have a right to say something. These are all crimes that she's accusing him of. The trafficking, the forced, relations with these prostitutes and then forcing himself on her. These are all illegal crimes. So you can't hold someone accountable for NDA when you're doing those type of things. Okay. And so you can't, I don't care what you sign, honey. If someone's breaking the law and they're doing these things to you, they can't make you stick to a non-disclaimer. You're allowed to tell your truth. Okay, this is all nefarious. So King Lejeune said, just learned something. Okay, so what do y'all think about this? Naja says, I'm sure she had proof for all of this, or else she wouldn't have filed the lawsuit. Yeah, exactly. Halle Berry says, yes, under distress. Exactly. Regilio, I hope I said your name right, beloved, said, wasn't she with Ryan Leslie? I don't know. I don't even know who that is, beloved. Possibly. Oh, crazy. Don't Ask Me Ish says, yep, NDAs don't cover up crimes. Exactly. Well, what do y'all think about all of this? I mean, is anyone shocked? That's what I like. Are any of you shocked about this? Because I'm absolutely not. I'm not shocked at all. I think he had something to do with Kim Porter's demise. That's my opinion. Now they say, and this, I can't substantiate this. This is just something that I read somewhere, but that Kim Porter, that one of her friends supposedly said that she was writing a tell-all book about him before she came up dead at the age of 47, mysteriously, no less. Okay? And then remember when Albie Shore said something about Kim Porter and what he thought about Diddy, and then all of a sudden he got sick, really sick. Y'all remember that? This is all so crazy. Juju B said, I'm not shocked at all, Queen. Kenya said, nope. Hold on, let me go back. This hotel said he believes it too. Kenyatta said, nope, I'm waiting on the Kim Porter stuff that comes out of this. Absolutely. Danielle said, nope, not all, and what is done in the dark will surely come to light. Absolutely. My aunt Egypt said Diddy's a gatekeeper. But I want y'all to remember who's friends with Diddy. Who's friends with Diddy? Please pay attention. I don't have to say their name because we all know who it is, right? We already know who defends Diddy, all right? Who wanted to be this little summit and all that. Please pay attention. RG Titan said, I had a suspicious feeling about Diddy having something to do with Kim Porter's unfortunate deletion too. Yeah, absolutely. Derek Martin said she was with Ryan Leslie before Diddy. Okay, beloved, thank you for that. I don't even know who that is. Miss Hotel said they were at the summit. You know they were at the summit, honey. Okay? And I know they heard the same rumors about Diddy that the rest of us heard. All right? All so crazy. Nandy says, all of this inspires celibacy. Nessa G said, this is the year of exposure. It absolutely is. Didn't I tell you all that months ago? Laverne said the veil has been unveiled. Right, absolutely. Okay, King Lejeune said Ryan Leslie is a producer. Okay, thanks, beloved. Miss Hotel said same thing, a music producer. I never did care for him. He always seemed sneaky and desperate, said Carl. Not sneaky and desperate, okay? Do you all remember that video that he was on where Kevin Hart was pretending to interview him in his home or whatever, and there was a big black toy on his bed, at the foot of his bed? How many of you all saw that? How many of you all saw that? You had to really be paying attention to packages, honey. I really appreciate you all, okay? Will come to light. You see, I'm hoping this has a domino effect. I'm hoping this has a domino effect and that he just goes down, because he's taken a lot of people down. A lot of people are broke and penniless thanks to him. A lot of people have taken the fall for him. Now just think about it. Now Cassie says that he told her to take the gun and put it in her purse. I'm sorry. Didn't he have a gun when he was in the car with J-Lo? And didn't Shine take the fall for him about that whole incident? And then Shine went to prison for 10 years and then got kicked out of the country, got deported. I want you all to pay attention. And now Shine's living his best life because he's a politician, right? Isn't he like the prime minister or something over there? He's some type of politician over there in Belize. This is all crazy. Yes, King Lejeune, the nightclub incident. Absolutely. And Nandy said Jaguar alluded to it. She sure did. Aboriginal woman says, yes, Queen. So this is all crazy. Laverne said the big payback. Absolutely. Anyway, honey, I'm about to get out of here because I have to be up in the morning to get you. Okay, so with that all been said, the Crazy Beach Era says, thank you, Queen, for the Menendez Brothers Diddy Connection episode last night. You're absolutely welcome, beloved. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention because at the end of the day, Original First Mother says, I see YouTube blocking me. Beloved, they're blocking you because of your comments. You have to be careful what you're putting in the chat. You can't say certain words. Okay, at the end of the day, they can take your account. So please be careful what you're putting in the chat. Now, with that all being said, I told you guys twice in that video that I wanted Diddy to go down. I said, I hope that other people come out and this is a domino effect. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. Okay. Above all the drama said, yes, that was a great broadcast. Thank you, beloved. Okay. So anyway, here it is. And Diddy has allegedly turned out to be worse than R. Kelly if these allegations are true. Okay. That does make, the stuff that he's been accused of pretty much does make R. Kelly look like a choir boy, okay, in comparison. And in fact, they've compared Diddy to Jeffrey Epstein. And speaking of that, remember when they were talking about one of the officers who raided the properties said why the officer who raided Sean Diddy Combs' Miami mansion says he is as bad as Epstein. That's what he said. Department of Homeland Security raided Sean Diddy Combs' Miami mansion, where they allegedly found an SEX room filled with SEX toys, hidden cameras, and more. They say they found 700, and I believe it was 54 dildos. Y'all remember that? One of the agents from the Department of Homeland Security who aided in the raid of the Florida home of the music mogul told NYP that the star had individual bedroom-sized areas that were evidently dedicated for SEX and had cameras all around. He said the rapper is as bad as Epstein. So if you were in those SEX parties, you were being recorded from every possible angle, including angles you wouldn't have known about. And sometimes days-long orgies that he called freak-offs, where drugged-up victims were allegedly forced to sleep with male prostitutes. The indictment against the rapper even claims that the women, some of whom were still minors, were forced into freak-offs, SEX sessions that sometimes performed the acts naked while the music producer massaged his cucumber, saying that, in my opinion, this is what the agent said, in my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey Epstein. These women are young, either barely legal or barely illegal. Officers said they indeed feel strongly that Combs is very similar to Epstein, the now designated high-level non-confidant who's been convicted of the SEX trafficking of dozens of adolescent girls in New York and Florida. Okay, and so that's what they said. That's what they said. They compared him to Epstein. So, and then I told you all about them SEX rooms that he had, supposedly. This is a whole hot mess. Okay, so now we got to talk about Trump because they arrested a man. We're going to talk about Trump and Kabami. But before I get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. You can also find it. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so now here we have Trump talking crazy again because he says They say Trump challenges Harris to take cognitive test as candidates head to Pennsylvania and sprint to election. First of all, why does he think Kamala needs a cognitive test? Donald Trump has challenged his election rival Kamala Harris to take a cognitive test as they head to this crucial swing state of Pennsylvania on Monday, with the race for the White House entering its final stretch. Now, the call came in response to Harris releasing her latest medical report in a challenge to the Republican over the weekend, okay, whose health remains under scrutiny, not least because of his tendency to engage in long, rambling, and occasionally incoherent speeches. Now, Trump was the subject of more drama over the weekend when California police arrested a man at his rally in Coachella and suggested that he had been plotting a third assassination attempt on the nominee. But the suspect, Las Vegas native Vim Miller, age 49, claimed to be a Trump supporter and an artist and denied any wrongdoing or intention to cause harm. Elsewhere, first of all, here's the thing. If he wasn't going to do anything, why did he have guns at a rally? And why did he have several fake identifications as well as a fake press badge? Now, you see, what they were doing was they were allowing people who were associated with the press to go ahead and go in. They could just drive on in. No one else was being allowed to. So they let this man go through the first checkpoint. And then when he got to the second checkpoint, it was more extensive. And so they started doing more, a more thorough search. And that's when they found out, first of all, his story wasn't making sense. And then they said they found out that he had like weapons in the cars, guns. And then he had this fake press badge and all of that. So what was, first of all, he doing with guns? And then why did you have fake IDs, sir? Okay, so this is all getting real crazy at the end of the day. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, here, this came out an hour ago. They say sheriff calls out LAX, California bail laws after armed rally suspect is released. They said they let the man out. They said he's been released. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this update.
Say they caught him with loaded illegal guns and a fake press pass near Donald Trump's Saturday rally in Coachella, California. Meanwhile, the suspect maintaining his innocence, telling Fox News Digital, quote, "I always travel with my firearms in the back of my truck. I've literally never even shot a gun. I'm the last person that would cause any violence and harm to anybody. I'm 100% a Trump supporter. This is a man I deeply admire." Riverside County, California Sheriff Chad Bianco joins us now. Sheriff, do you believe him? Is that why he's out?
I mean, no, that's not why he is out. I certainly read his statements, and they're believable statements. But and I hope that was the case for his sake. But it doesn't change the fact that he brought the guns onto a Trump rally, and he was stopped before he got inside.
Right. Inside his car were rifles and guns unregistered, were passports with different names. He had a phony license plate, and inside the SUV, it was all torn up. He had a lot of explaining to do. What did you do when you began to unravel what he might have been up to?
Well, quite honestly, at the time with President Trump arriving, as you can imagine, it's not a calm scene. It's a very chaotic scene with people trying to get in there and vehicles coming in and the president on his way. So the original deputy that stopped him and talked to him and noticed all these things and eventually ended up getting his consent to search the vehicle, located all of these items. So had he not had that encounter with that deputy, he certainly would have been on the grounds. Where he would have more than likely ended up was probably only a few couple hundred yards from the stage where President Trump eventually was. But that's all. I mean, that's all speculation. We don't know because we did our job and we stopped him from getting on the grounds in the first place.
You indicated in some of your comments afterwards the federal government didn't get involved. Federal law enforcement did not get involved. Would you think you possibly stopped a third assassination attempt?
You know, in our minds, we did. That's what we were set up there for. We were set up to stop and prevent anyone from coming on the grounds like happened the last time. and it worked. There's a lot of speculation that he's just an innocent person, and he very well could be, with his intentions to not. He had no intention to harm the president, but out of the between the 25 and the 50, depending on the numbers that you're hearing, 1,000 people that came to the rally, only one brought guns. And so we were thankful that our deputy found him, and he was removed before the president even got there.
So you think 50,000 people came there, you were able to secure it, you're very proud of that, and you should be. But when you get him in jail and you detain him, why is he out today? Because it seems there's a very little, just this, what we're talking about now, I would think if I was doing that, I'd be still in jail.
Well, in hindsight, I mean, it's probably, for the rest of the country, it's hard to believe that when we arrest people, they don't stay in jail. But that's a fact of life here in California. And those crimes that we arrested him for were misdemeanors, and we do not hold misdemeanors in custody. So he was giving a citation to appear at a later date. And I've been told, I don't know the date, but I think it's after January. It's after the new year. So we've been dealing with bad law enforcement policy for decades in California, and unfortunately the whole world sees it now.
I mean, the frustration must be overwhelming because you're doing your job and you're not allowed to by the idiotic laws you're forced to live by. But let's look at this right now. Do we know anything about Vem Miller, his background? Does he have a history? He says he was a Hollywood guy who changed his beliefs because of his homogenous community, or something to that effect. What else do we know about him?
Well, for us, we know very little, and I think a lot of the problem that we are seeing now is the social media world is just taking on a life of its own. And of course, this is big news, but a lot of people fill in blanks where there are blanks, and most of the time they're wrong, or they add things. One of the things that led to this controversy is he had a license plate on his vehicle that was unregistered, which is strange, and then the license plate was indicative of people that adhere to a sovereign citizen, is what we refer to them as. I think they refer to themselves as that belief in that the government rules and laws don't apply to them. And he had a license plate on his car that was this indicative being used by those people. So by saying that, and here it's a little bit of a detriment to law enforcement, to me, when we try and be as open as we possibly can, that's misconstrued later on. And so I never said that he was part of that group. I said it's indicative of that group of people that believe like that. But at the time, we knew nothing about him. That's up to the FBI to find out his background and what he was involved in, if anything. And I'm sure that will come out later. But all we can go off of is what we see at the time and what we know. And what we know now is the only thing that we could arrest him for was those weapons violations.
Do we know that's his real name?
I couldn't tell you what his real name is. The only thing I can say for sure is this is a personal belief. The identifications, the different identifications that he had, Vem was consistent. So I'm sure his name is Vem, but there were different names and different variations of Miller or other names. And so I honestly couldn't tell you what his real name is.
See, I thought you could keep him for 48 hours, and being that there's so many questions about him, being how well armed he is, and the lies that he's happy, the different IDs he's happy to use, the different passports he had on him. I mean, this whole thing's reek of suspicion. Any one of these things seems overwhelmingly reason to keep him detained, but you say your hands are tied.
Well, I don't want to say our hands are tied. I'm telling you that, unfortunately or fortunately for him, unfortunately for us, in California, that's all we can hold him for is the weapons charges, and it's a misdemeanor. And it is a sad fact that we can't hold misdemeanors in jail. They're released with citations. So I think he did go to jail. He was booked, but I believe he was only there for 4 to 6 hours and then cited and released. So the ultimate goal was to stop him from getting inside and then get him away from the event. So the event was safe. The attendees were safe. Our former president was safe. And then any follow-up that's going to happen concerning the passports, concerning his intent, that can be done later.
Yeah, he's safe because you did your job. That's it. Sheriff,
we hope so. I'm certainly proud of the deputies, what they did, and catching this and before he got those guns inside was good.
All right, Sheriff Bianco, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, so does that make any sense to you guys? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Now, he's sitting up there, he's the sheriff, and he doesn't know who that man really is. It sounds like an inside job and something sketchy is going on. Why did he have fake passports, fake IDs? Why did he have a fake press badge? Why did he have guns at a rally? This all sounds real sketchy. I want you all to pay attention. And then they let him go and don't even know for a fact who he is with all the fake stuff that he had. They couldn't have held him until they were able to prove and verify who he actually is. And even if it's a misdemeanor, who's to say he's even going to come back to court if he gave them a false identification? I have questions. This all sounds real sketchy. This all sounds real sketchy. Red Wine Entertainment says, sounds like we're getting played. Okay? And then that Crazy Beach Air said, fake license plates. Exactly. Exactly. This is all real crazy. But anyway, let's continue because this is what they are reporting. Okay, this is what they're reporting. So now let's get into Kabami. Time magazine owner takes Kamala Harris to task for denying interview requests, and we believe in transparency. Saying we believe in transparency. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to share my screen. And also, people are still going in on Barry Obama. Okay, people are still going in on him days later. He really messed up big time. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he wasn't thinking. At the end of the day.
It looks more like, welcome back to Sunday Night in America. Kamala Harris is running for president, but you wouldn't know it based on her recent media tour. It looks more like batting practice for T-ball.
So many that people don't truly know what you believe or what you stand for.
I have been traveling our country. What the American people do want is that we have leaders who can build consensus.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden?
There is not a thing that comes to mind. Okay, the last time I had beer was at a baseball game with Doug.
Cheers. There you go.
Do you nap at all? Build consensus around what? We're a 50-50 country. That's why you had to break so many ties in the Senate as vice president. I wonder if she thinks sex change operations for death row inmates builds consensus. Does she think sanctuary cities for unlawful migrants who commit crimes brings Americans together? Does she think Americans are clamoring to let death row inmates vote? She can't think of a single thing she'd do differently from Biden. What about droning a car full of kids in Afghanistan? What about the feckless withdrawal where American soldiers were killed, the border, inflation, Israel? Nothing? We did learn she drinks but doesn't nap. I can't tell you how vitally important those qualities are in vetting the most important, powerful person in the world. Elsewhere, Donald Trump is campaigning across the country but ruled out another debate.
Yeah, Trump doesn't want another debate. He was talking tough at first, but he clearly doesn't want another one. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, don't let me forget to tell you guys what Jason Whitlock, aka Ham Hock, said about Barry Obama. We're gonna get into that in a second. But here's what Jen Psaki had to say about the polls. Okay, Jen Psaki breaks down new NBC polls with Harris and Trump deadlocked with just 23 days to the election. Let's get into it. Remember, Jen Psaki is the former White House press secretary before Karine Jean-Pierre.
Host of Inside with Jen Psaki on MSNBC. Thank you for sticking around, my friend. Doing a
Thank
little
you.
overtime
I'm
with
following
us.
Mark Murray, who knows so much about all of the numbers, so I will do my best.
I know. We all learn so much from him when he drops these polls. Let's get to 23 days until the election day. So this new poll shows Harris has lost some ground in the last month. Is the apparent drop expected, Jen, or is it concerning? I mean, a function of what the vice president is doing or not doing, or is it something Trump is doing?
Well, look, first of all, if you're sitting on a campaign, you don't look at the national polls. You look at the state polls. Now, the thing is the state polls also show a very close razor-thin race where Harris is up in some states, she's down in some states, but that's what they're really looking at because it's not a national race. It is a race about 6 or 7 states. I think in some ways, as Mark was just saying, it comes kind of back down to earth. This was always going to be a close race. There are a range of factors and reasons for that. And when you look and dig into the data, you can see some of the reasons, including that Harris is behind where maybe people expected her to be among Black men. She's behind where Obama was and even where Biden was and on election day among Latino voters. So there are some areas that have been more historically relied upon by Democrats. And those may be about shifts demographically, just generationally. As younger voters or younger Latino voters, a lot of the Black men are younger Black men. It may be that as a factor. And there may be some issues at play too, but lots of factors that you can see in the data.
So with regard to gender, with each one lagging with members of the opposite sex, which one has the bigger gender problem?
Well, look, at the end of the day, you just want more votes on election day. I mean, for Harris, her movement among women, including white women who Trump has won historically, is a good thing. And largely that's, of course, as you saw in that poll, I think, because of abortion rights and abortion rights being at risk. But the Harris-Walz team clearly knows they need to make up more ground with men and with Black men specifically. You can see by some of the things they're doing, some of the media they're doing, some of the outreach they're doing, even Tim Walz going to a football game, doing things along those lines. They know they need
Pheasant
to kind
hunting
of meet people where they are.
yesterday.
What'd you say?
Yeah. Pheasant hunting yesterday.
Pheasant hunting, yes. Pheasant hunting is probably not appealing to suburban women, I don't think. Things along those lines, exactly.
Yeah. But with regard to turnout on an election day, who typically is the more reliable gender? Who gets to the polls and does it?
Well, here's the challenging thing. I mean, the electorate looks slightly different every 4 years. So even when you measure, say, women voters, female voters against 2020, a big seismic thing happened since then, the Dobbs decision, right? So it is hard, and every electorate is slightly different. This is when people say, well, people just have to recreate, candidates have to recreate the Obama coalition. Well, nobody can create the Obama coalition except for Obama, right? Biden had his own coalition, which was more leaned more into seniors and some other demographic groups. Harris will have her own coalition if she wins. So in terms of turnout, yes, people always say young voters don't turn out. Well, young voters seem pretty engaged right now.
Okay, I've heard enough. I have heard enough. Okay. Now, that all being said, we next, aka DSB says, y'all know what time it is. Becky and Miss Sue run the Black community. Them checks and hate, crime bill or hush. Okay, all hell no said both these fools are sad. Head on pillow 2024. Okay. She Bruce says, I didn't vote for Obama his second term. He's getting what he deserves after 12-year honeymoon. Exactly. He needs to sit down somewhere. But hold on. Speaking of Obama, did you all hear what Jason Whitlock said about him? Let me just pull this up. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share. This is all nefarious. Jason's out here pulling out conspiracy theories. Okay, please pay attention. I mean, even though what he said kind of makes sense, and I don't even like Jason, but hold on.
Chairman of the Obama Foundation just happens to look like your oldest daughter. And his wife, who is a doctor, who is credited with delivering your babies, just happens to look like your youngest daughter. The Obamas aren't blind, and their family and friends, and America's not blind. Somebody has to explain this. It's worthy of an explanation, or you should have got rid of these people. And so literally, like, distance yourself from them. You got rid of Reverend Wright. You distance yourself from him. Don't make this man the head of the Obama Foundation if he looks just like your oldest daughter, and just
Yeah.
the whole story. I mean, the woman delivers the baby. How I mean, this woman delivers the baby and looks just like the youngest baby. Somebody, please.
Okay, so clearly Jason doesn't think that those are really the Obama's children. Many people have said that in the past and said they've never seen a picture of Michelle pregnant and whatnot. Jason, please sit down somewhere. That's all I have to say. Please sit down somewhere. Hold on, beloveds. Here's what you all have to look forward to. There you go, right there. That's what y'all got. The Democrats and the Republicans, or the Democrats, shall I say. But listen to what this woman says here.
Oh my God, you guys. Once they figure out that it's not just the black male vote, oh my God, you guys, I'm hiding. I'm hiding because once they figure out that it's not just the black male vote, but also us black females who ain't voting for Kamala in record numbers like black people usually vote for Democrats in record numbers. Oh my God, y'all. Once they figure it out, they gonna send Michelle. They gonna send Michelle after us. Oh my God, you guys. I gotta find a better hiding place. Oh my God, you.
Not a better hiding place. Hey, OG Patrice. Okay, this is all nefarious. Hold on, okay? I absolutely cannot. But let's go to this guy talking about how Kamala did so terrible in an interview. And by the way, Kamala's doing another interview tonight, and it's going to be softball. So maybe she'll be able to catch her bearings. But she's going to be interviewed with Roland Swollen Martin tonight. Okay, I already saw the ad on TikTok or something. But yeah, he's going to interview her tonight. And so please pay attention because you already know he's not going to do nothing but sit there and crack jokes and buck dance just like he did with Hillary, okay, in 2016.
Just when you think this woman cannot get any worse than she is, she turns around and proves you ain't seen nothing yet. Watch this.
Ending that child tax credit, or you mentioned housing before, giving that extra money for a first home. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate.
In the very slim chance she wins the presidency, she has absolutely zero plan for if or when there is a divided government. She will be unable to shove through her agenda. Watch as she completely crumbles.
Where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes.
Knock, knock. The light's on, but there ain't nobody at home.
And we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair.
How the hell are you going to be able to shove that through in a divided government?
Share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
I'm sorry, I really don't want to say this, but she's stupid. She's got absolutely no idea what she's talking about. I'm really sorry, she's stupid.
Well, I have to agree with him. She does sound obtuse to me. I'm sorry. It's a yes. We next, aka DSB, says Miss Obama going to come out wagging her finger at y'all queen like Obama called himself doing. Honey, she better not even try it. She's going to get dragged just like he did, beloved. Okay? She is going to get dragged just like he did. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. And then speaking of Barry, do you all know that they drowned him out? Like they gave him no respect. Hold on, let me play this clip.
It's trying to.
Now he was getting drowned out. Barry gets drowned out by FJB Chance. Okay, F Joe Biden. That's what the people were saying. He needs to sit down somewhere. They say poor Barry can't seem to get a word in edgewise when the hashtag FJB chants start. Keep it up, Patriots. We've got this. So even the white folk aren't listening to you, Barry. It's really going bad for you, okay? They literally said F Joe Biden and didn't want to hear anything he had to say. But you know what he didn't do? What he didn't do was point his finger and talk crazy to them. He said, see, we're trying to have a conversation. He was still trying to be polite, even though they were completely, utterly disrespecting him. Okay. So he has all this smoke for the black men, but not for anyone else. Queen, you should take Roland Martin's place and really give it to her with the hardball questions. Honey, you know I would love to, but Kabami wouldn't dare interview with me. I wish she would. She wouldn't dare. Okay. I wish she would, honey. I'd do it absolutely for free. They don't even have to try to bribe me like they allegedly tried to do Dr. Umar. I would do it all for free, whatever time of day that she wanted to do it. But that's not going to happen, is it? It's not. Because Kabami don't want this smoke, all right? And she doesn't want the hard questions. But hold, let's talk about Trump because Lord Jamar was on an interview the other day on the red couch or the blue couch. And Lord Jamar went in on rappers. He called out rappers for switching up on Donald Trump and says Donald Trump is not racist. So let's hear this because this should be interesting. Now, I'm going to put an overlay on this because no one's given me permission to use it, mind you. So I'm just going to put an overlay up here. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you.
I feel like I do rock with Trump. I'm gonna go ahead and say it out loud. Like I've been to myself, because the way they try to shame people and the way they make you feel, it's almost like you got to look around. Like, yeah, I fuck with Trump. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I fuck with Trump over Kamala. And if you say he's racist, well, guess what? I like my racists outward. I don't like racists who hide in the background and pretend to be my friend, but really they're stabbing me in the knife with the back. But here's the thing, Trump is not racist. And the only time that y'all started saying he was racist is when he started running for president. Before that, black people and the black community loved Trump. He was in all the fucking raps.
They was all on his nuts.
Right. And then if you look at the thing he's done, like he helped he supported Jesse Jackson's run for the presidency back then. He helped fund it. People don't know that. When Jennifer Hudson, this happened with her family and all of that, he fucking put her up and all kinds of shit. Like, this man is a racist in the media, basically. Like, the media has made him a racist, but I haven't seen anything from him that would indicate to me that he's a racist. They say, oh, he inspires racism and all of that. I mean, America inspires racism. You don't think Biden inspires racism? First of all, there was more police brutality against black people under Obama's term than I think anybody's. So what the fuck are we talking about here? And he was your black president. He was your so-called black president. Even though when you really look about how he grew up, he not black like how we black. You understand what I'm saying? You're not no multi-generational black. You haven't lived the American black experience. And living in Hawaii, is not growing up with the American black experience. You understand what I'm saying? You're in America technically, and you're black, but you're not living in an authentic black American experience. Kamala grew up in Canada, right?
I ain't know that.
She grew up in Canada, went to elementary school, high school, and started college up there. Then she went to Howard. So Come on. Stop it. Stop acting like she's so black. Oh, and another thing about Trump, I want to say, people will talk about the Central Park Five. Well, he was against the Central Park Five. Well, first of all, at that time, he was a Democrat. Okay? So let's put that out there. He was a Democrat at the time, and the lead prosecutor was a Democrat. Okay? So, if anything, the Democratic Party went after these fucking kids. Also, he thought in his mind, when he took out that fucking article, that he never did mention them by name in there, but when he took out the article, he thought they were guilty. Now, where I think he fucks up at is by not just coming out and say, you know what, I was wrong, I apologize. But they pleaded guilty, so I thought they were guilty, and I had a bigger issue about the police and and you know what I mean? He should just come out and say that. But he hasn't, and so that becomes a stickler for people. But I just want to point out, he was a Democrat when he did that, and it was a Democratic prosecutor. So if you want to talk shit about him, well, he was one of yours at that time. So
Okay, so that was some good facts. He said, "Now put that in your pipe and smoke it." Now he's not lying. Trump was a Democrat at that time. Now, so let's go in on them too, because let's not sit here and act like the Democrats weren't the ones who were trying to put them behind bars, or who did put them behind bars. And also, let's talk about the fact that Kamala withheld evidence that could possibly have exonerated a black man on death row. So what's worse? Trump taking out ads, or Kabami hiding evidence or not allowing evidence to be used that could possibly exonerate someone, and also sending an innocent black man to prison? Okay, aka Jamal True Love. All right, so I'm sorry, they sound ridiculous, but here's the thing too. Now, I was doing some fact checking while he was saying all that stuff to make sure, because I hadn't heard some of it. Now, I did hear about Trump funding Jesse Jackson's campaign. I've heard that years ago, but this whole thing with Jennifer Hudson, I never heard anything about it. So I was doing my fact checking as you all were listening, and here's what I found. This is an article from November 11th of 2008. Trump takes in Jennifer Hudson and family. In the wake of her family tragedy, Jennifer Hudson has received a helping hand from an unlikely source, Donald Trump. Okay, now Hudson and some of her family members have been staying at the Trump International Hotel and Tower in Chicago, and Trump has been picking up the tab. Says they are safe. This is what Trump told people on Monday night. She's a great girl and we're protecting them well. According to E! Online, Hudson has been staying at the hotel since arriving in Chicago on October the 24th, the day her mother, Darnell Donnerson, and brother, Jason Hudson, were found murdered, and nephew, Julian King, was found missing. Okay, since checking into the hotel, the Oscar winner and former American Idol star has rarely left the hotel. She's still in shock. She hasn't gone out much at all and has a lot of scrutiny around her. Okay, so with that all being said, well, I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about that. All right. Original first mother says, "Oh, Jennifer is one of them folks. Don't trust her." It's not about trusting her. We're not talking about whether we trust Jennifer Hudson or not. I'm trying to prove whether or not what Lord Jamal said was true. What Lord Jamar said was true or false. Okay. This isn't even about Jennifer Hudson or her being trustworthy. This is about Trump and Kabami. Right, we're talking about politics here, not celebrities at this point. Okay, Exec says, now that's a person who cares. I mean, exactly, because some people would have wanted to take her in my opinion, because, after what happened, because that seems like they could be putting themselves in danger. Because what if the person who took out her family comes looking for her there? I mean, because this person hadn't been caught as of yet. Okay, we next, aka DSB says, I think Desmond sent something to your text, Queen. Not sure if you saw it in the chat. Thank you, beloved. Okay, thank you for that. And also thanks for the contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Let me see what Desmond sent here. Oh, Lord, here goes another breaking story. Likes up. Let's get into it. Thank you, Desmond, because I don't have to come back and do this all over. Okay, breaking news about Diddy. Let's get into it, honey. Diddy cannot stay out of the news. This is all nefarious. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Original first mother, I'm not going to tell you again. If YouTube is blocking your comments, that means you're saying words that are problematic. Moderators, please watch original first mother's comments, because if they're blocking you, you're saying something that's problematic. This is their platform, whether we like it or not. You can't say certain things. I know it doesn't seem fair, but that's just how it goes. Until we get our own platforms, we have to abide by the rules. So please stop putting whatever it is you're putting in the chat, or I'll have to have the moderators block you. Okay? Now, with that all being said, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like, up, everyone, please like and share, because the last thing I need is ScrewTube checking what's in my chat. Okay, so here's what they're saying. Diddy sued. You raped me under threat of violence, according to new lawsuit. So Diddy forced a college freshman to take her clothes off under the threat of violence, and once she was undressed, he forced himself on her and fondled, molested, and raped her, all while she was begging him to stop, at least according to a new lawsuit. The Bad Boy Records founder is being sued by a woman in Tennessee who claims she was only 19 years old and a freshman in college in 2004 when she got invited to Diddy's photo shoot across the street from her college campus in Brooklyn, New York. Now, according to the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, the woman says she was flattered and excited to receive an invitation from a celebrity like Diddy. So she went to the photo shoot with one of her girlfriends, where she says they met Diddy and were invited to an after party at the Manhattan area Marriott Hotel. The woman says that she and her friend agreed to go to the party, and they were taken to the hotel by a member of Diddy's entourage. And when they got to the hotel suite and tried to mingle with guests, drinking and listening to music, they were instead grabbed and taken into a separate room. She says she asked the guy who took her to the room where they were going, and he responded, you know what you are here for. No, he didn't. Now, in the docs, the woman says that she and her friend were locked inside of a room with Diddy, and she says he gave them drinks and told them to do Coca-Cola nose candy that he had prepared for their use, okay, on a coffee table. Well, what if they don't do stuff like that? This is all crazy. She says that she didn't want to do the Coca-Cola, and Diddy continued getting gradually more aggressive with her and her friend, to the point where he began touching them without consent. Sounds like what Tania was saying in that video that you all just listened to. The woman says when they resisted, Diddy ordered her friend to perform fellatio on him and threatened to kill them both if she didn't. This is crazy. Diddy is a whole monster, allegedly. The woman says her friend complied and she begged Diddy to let them leave, to which he did not even agree. Oh. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Now, in her suit, the woman says Diddy soon turned his sights onto her and forced her to undress under threat of violence, allegedly forcing himself on her and assaulting her. Okay. She says the door to the room ultimately opened. She believes it was due to her cries, and the security guard who had brought them to the room came in to ask if everything was all right. And that's when her friend bolted out of the room. The woman says she couldn't escape, though, because Diddy was still on top of her. The woman who is suing as a Jane Doe says Diddy got off her to talk to the security guard, and the men left the room, and Diddy told her to stay, threatening to kill her if she left. She says she stayed in the dark room by herself for another 30 minutes until a different security guard came and told her she could leave. She said she got her things left and ultimately called a taxi back to her college dorm. Some 20 years later, the woman is now suing and she wants a jury trial. She's been repped by Tony Busby, the attorney who says he's representing 120 people who are alleged Diddy victims. Diddy's Bad Boy corporations are also being sued as is the Marriott International. Busby says Marriott management was well aware of Diddy's activities and looked the other way rather than intervene. Okay, so they said they reached out to Diddy's camp and the Marriott, and so far they haven't heard anything back. They haven't heard anything back. This is all crazy. This is all crazy. Jay Gray said, so Diddy was taking what he wanted. He will get that same karma in prison. Those security guards need to be locked up also. Yes, they absolutely do. A lot of these people need to be locked up and sitting right in jail with Diddy because this is absolutely crazy. Okay, thank you, We Next DSB, for your contribution, beloved, and also for letting me know Desmond sent me that. Here's the thing. As I told you all, more and more lawsuits are just going to keep coming. At this point, it's nonstop. Okay. I mean, and people are all saying similar things. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that all of these things being alleged are true. Diddy, again, maintains his innocence and wants to have his day in court where he's going to testify. But at the end of the day, it's a whole lot that he's going to be fighting. His defense, what are they going to say? How are they going to prepare their defense for this? What are they going to do? Are they going to say all of these people are just after a bag? Okay, this is all real crazy. Okay, more and more allegations as the days continue. He's already locked up in jail, but still the allegations continue to pour out. And likely because some people just feel more comfortable coming out and saying these things while they know that he's safely tucked away in a jail cell. Okay? Because remember, Ariel Mitchell Kidd, the attorney who represents some of the people suing Diddy, actually said that one of her clients was very upset when she thought that Diddy was possibly going to get a bail and felt so much relieved when he in fact didn't. Okay? And so anyway, and there's another person who said something briefly about a party of Diddy's that she was at. Now, this young woman, her name is Jada Cheeves. She shared briefly about her experience. She really didn't say too much, but I'll let you all hear it nonetheless. But honey, Diddy is going down in a hell of flames. Okay, this is what's really going on here. Now, some of these bodyguards just seem like they were nefarious. Okay, I don't know if they were already these type of people or if working with Diddy just brought them down the wrong, path or whatever. But from some of these allegations we're getting, it seems like some of his bodyguards were possibly complicit. Specifically, the one named Joseph Sherman, who claims that he didn't even know Thalia Graves. I told you guys, I saw the text messages. Okay, these people said that Big Joe said that he takes bussy with a P. Said that he takes it. That's great. Okay. And I'm not saying they're telling the truth. I'm just telling you what people outside of Thalia Graves said. They verified what she said. They said that they saw the video footage of what Diddy and Big Joe did to her. They talked about how she was so small and petite and how they felt so sorry for her and that they hope she gets justice. Okay, so please pay attention. And this supposedly happened when she was a freshman in college in 2004. She was 19 years old. And this is a woman from Tennessee, named only as Jane Doe in this lawsuit, invited to a photo shoot with one of her girlfriends. And then Diddy invited them to an after party in Manhattan at an area Marriott hotel. All right, so there you guys have it. Now I'm going to go to what this lady said. She was basically talking about the illegal substances they had there, and she wanted to leave.
Something like wow at a Diddy party?
Yes. Truthful. But it wasn't like nothing crazy because I wasn't there that long. But like motherfuckers just doing coke mid combo, I ain't never experienced no shit like that. I was wild. I was like, what the fuck? I went to my friend, the friend that I went with, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't like this. I'm about to go. I called the car. And mind you, it was so crowded to get up there. So I had to walk down the hill to my car by my fucking self. But yeah.
Are you still friends with the person you went to the Diddy party with?
No.
Okay, so I told you it was brief. She said she was there and she saw the drugs and all that stuff and people doing Coca-Cola. Wasn't anything wild. Well, I'm sorry. If I go to a party and I see people with Coca-Cola all over the place and everybody's doing it, that's wild to me. Because I'm not used to seeing such. And I guess if you've seen this type of stuff on a regular basis, it's no big deal to you. But at the end of the day, honey, I'm not trying to be here. I'm sorry, where's the door? How do we get out of here is what I'd be asking. Okay, this is all nefarious. Okay, Shebra said she didn't file charges 20 years ago. Listen, why are y'all still asking about why these people didn't file charges so many years ago? None of these people who have lawsuits against him right now, none of them, and there's at least 12 to 13 lawsuits, none of these people obviously filed years ago. They're all filing right now. Don't ask me why, ask them. I don't have a clue. Maybe they were afraid. I don't know. But clearly they're not filed years ago, or they wouldn't be having all of this stuff against Diddy right now. And then here's another thing. Here's some food for thought. Some of these people may have been afraid. Some of them may be lying and just trying to get money. Who knows? I'm sure some of these people are just trying to get money. But for the ones that are potentially telling the truth, well, I'm sure they were afraid. They've said they were afraid. Diddy's been known to have shot people. Tanya Rubin says he shot her in the face, even though Shine took the fall for it. She says it was Diddy that she saw him do it. Kid Cudi and his people say they confirmed Cass's allegations that Diddy blew up the car. Now, I'm sorry. Some of y'all act like y'all are such badasses. Would y'all really have been coming out talking against somebody who's been accused of allegedly having things to do with murdered people like Biggie and Tupac and others? Would y'all be so blatantly coming out filing charges against this man? And let's not forget that some of these people said they did go to the police and nothing was done. Diddy said that he had ties to the police, allegedly. This is what some people have also said, that Diddy had ties to the police through Fahim Muhammad. There's also paperwork that I showed you guys where it says that Diddy was working with the FBI as a confidential informant by a man by the name of Mark Parody. His own ex-bodyguards have said that he was working for the feds. So if the man's working for the feds, and clearly he was, in my opinion, because why else, when they raided his residences on March the 25th, they said, one of the feds said anonymously, that they didn't even know whose home they were going to raid. They weren't told that it was Diddy, and they didn't know who it was until they got inside, because they didn't want anybody to expose or tell Diddy, give him the heads up that he was about to be raided. But clearly somebody gave him the heads up because he was at the Opa-locka airport that day in a plane. So with that all being said, the man clearly has connections, honey. When somebody has connections and they can get you put out of here, they can make you come up missing. When they have a friend who works for them or somebody who's their chief of security who owns 198 acres of land by the southern border, where somebody could easily be buried or just be taken out there, hidden, tucked away, or whatever. I'm sorry, that's a whole lot of reasons, in my opinion, why some people would shut the hell up and not say anything. I just told you all that Ariel Mitchell Kidd said that her client was so nervous thinking Diddy's going to get out on bail. Why do y'all think he's being held in custody and not given a bail? Because they also worry for the victims, that he might intimidate, harass, threaten, or have something done to some of them. It's not just about him being a flight risk. It's about the power that he has, the wherewithal. How do you think he's gotten away with all of these things for 30 plus years? All of these things we've heard about him. People close to Kim Porter believe he had something to do with her death. That's his own mother of his children, someone he was in a whole relationship with. Now, if he did have something to do with her demise, and I don't know that he did, but if he did, what do you think he'd do to somebody who he doesn't give a damn about? So there's a good reason for people to be fearful. Stop acting like these people are crazy because they didn't come forward. It was the same thing with Harvey Weinstein. They said Harvey Weinstein was bullying and intimidating people. There was a journalist who was a man, came out and said that he had to buy a gun and move because somebody came and threatened him because of stuff he was reporting on Harvey Weinstein. The psychologist, Dr. Barbara Ziv, who testified as an expert witness about why some of the people, in fact, take a long time to come forward years later. Go back and listen to what she said. She gave a very thorough and expert opinion as to why some people just don't come out in the first place. But that same woman who testified to that in the Weinstein trial was plowed down leaving the court one day. Somebody tried to kill her. Y'all don't think Harvey was behind it? I'm sure he likely was. Can't prove it. But luckily for her, she lived. Larry Sinclair, who ran his mouth about Obama and testified before Congress and said what Barry Obama was doing with him in the backseat of that limo. That man got plowed down and murdered. People come up dead. Whistleblowers come up dead. People who start exposing things that people don't want exposed turn up dead. Okay? Sometimes their family members turn up dead. So there's a myriad of reasons why people would wait 20 years, beloved. That's all I'm saying. Let's not act like these people are insane because they didn't come and say anything in the first place. Okay? Let's not act like these people are insane because they didn't come forward in the first place and tell what they knew. Some of these people literally said they went and filed reports. Ariel Mitchell Kidd, the attorney, said that in fact, she tried to get her client's police report. And the police told her that she was going to have to file a subpoena. Since when does an attorney have to file a subpoena to get something that is supposed to be public record? That you should be able to get from the Freedom of Information Act. I should be able to get her client's report if I want to by filing the Freedom of Information Act. Why are they telling this lady she needs a subpoena? Okay. Something's going on here. She says she thinks there's a cover-up. Now, this is an attorney who has everything to do with the case. She says she thinks there's a cover-up. I'm not saying there is one, but that's what she thinks. And she has good reason to think so. And so these people who didn't come out, listen, I'm sure they had their own reasons. If you want to know further information, you'd have to ask them. I don't know exactly. I'm just telling you some of the possibilities, some of the scenarios, or some of the reasons that perhaps they just didn't want to say anything. And also, some of them didn't think they would be believed. And then I saw someone ask earlier when I was playing, hold on. Who are y'all needing to block? Is somebody putting something inappropriate in the chat? Hold on. Is somebody putting anything inappropriate in the chat? Let me know. Don't block anybody until I see what they put in here first and foremost. Okay, now, anyway, with that all being said, the Queen has given a great summary of all the facts. Please pay attention, says Queen Sam. Thank you, beloved. I'm just saying, like, it's not that hard to figure out. Okay, it's not that hard to figure out. Okay, Bobo says for her own client who filed the police report herself, it was her own report that the victim filed with the police. Exactly. And you mean to tell me an attorney can't just go to the police department and request a copy of her own client's police report from years ago? Well, why not? Why does she need to file a subpoena? Why does she have to do all of that? So it sounds like something clearly nefarious is going on here. Okay? Please pay attention. With that all been said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And we will be going live on the spiritual channel at 5 o'clock today, not 6. We'll be going on there at 5 o'clock today. Okay. And so please keep that in mind if you follow that channel. Maud Egypt says Queen Ahmadiyyah always brings facts. Thank you, beloved. Okay. So that all being said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Sold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the Queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got